I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. It is fantastic to be here on day 2 of this wonderful conference for the career colleges from across our great nation. We're talking about the National Association of Career Colleges and the Career Colleges of Ontario coming together. But what I have now is a great conversation with an interesting partner in the mix. And of course, I'm talking about the Royal Canadian Navy. Royal Canadian Navy, a great part of our country, just like the Career Colleges of Canada. So on that note, sir, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Sure. I'm Lieutenant Commander Chris Elliott with the Royal Canadian Navy. I work in a business development function through our strategic outreach team, meant to build programs and partnerships with institutions across Canada.
So strategic outreach for the Royal Canadian Navy, looking for big organizations sort of to connect up with for the benefit of Canadians. Talk to me about your interest in the career college system.
Well, we align our function with the Admiral's top priorities, and that right now is our recruiting challenges. So we look to connect with organizations that have a network of job seekers, hopefully skilled applicants like the students that are coming out of the career colleges.
Right, and these are, a near perfect fit for the Royal Canadian Navy. These folks are coming out with skills, and they measure themselves in this industry on their employability and the type of jobs that they go to. And the Navy's got some great jobs right now. Talk to me a little bit about how you see the both fitting together.
Well, certainly. So what we want to do here is evaluate some of the programs that the career colleges have and see where they match up with the occupations we have. So everything from our business HR generalist types all the way to our marine technicians or sonar operators and other occupations like that. And where we fit in nicely is if we can evaluate the skills they've earned through these programs, we can likely provide some sort of semi-skilled entry or advanced standing as they join us.
Right. So with that in mind, if a person sort of enters the Navy with some skills, does that mean that they're going to advance a little quicker than their colleagues?
Well, certainly. You could join the Navy off the street and not have any of those skills, right. But you'll start at a base level salary, which is fairly competitive.
Right.
But if you're able to come in with an advanced entry or semi-skilled entry, we can offer you a little bit more of a pay incentive, perhaps a higher rank, should the evaluation meet the occupation needs and the training required to advance.
What should the colleges do if they see, they're watching this now, this is all circulating on their network. What should they do if they say, oh gosh, I need to get into a relationship with these guys because I'm providing a lot of students here and I think this would be a good fit? What would be the best route?
Yeah, the best opportunity is to check us out online, forces.ca, to learn about the occupations. Certainly you can reach out to me or my team, which are spread all across Canada, to discuss what different programs we have and where they align with those occupations, and try to build some Navy experience, which my team runs on the ships or at the bases, to help kind of bridge that gap so we can work on this problem collaboratively.
I just happened to be at an event the other day where Herzing College, one of the groups that are here, were on board one of the Canadian warships working on a challenge together, and to see the excitement that those students had when they touched and felt the Navy was remarkable. And I think that's kind of a key. If the people can see the Navy, they'll want to be a part of the Navy.
Well, certainly we have our bases on either coast, so out into Victoria, British Columbia, and Halifax, Nova Scotia. But half of Canada's population lives on the Great Lakes between the St. Lawrence Seaway in Montreal and down there in Windsor, Ontario. So if we don't bring the Navy out to the people, it's going to be hard to bridge the gap and help them understand what we're doing and the type of occupations and work that's available.
So the Strategic Outreach Team, as you mentioned, has a team right across the country?
That's correct. One in Victoria and all the way up to St. John's, Newfoundland. We're well represented and well covered and looking for opportunities to build these programs and partnerships.
Which is interesting, right? Because these folks have colleges all across the country, right?
That's right.
So there's a natural fit here. And of course, for you to be here in conversation with the leadership of the National Association of Career Colleges and Career Colleges Ontario, and I know that Saskatchewan's in the room, British Columbia is in the room, all the key players in the room to start this beautiful relationship. It must be exciting for you.
It's very very exciting. So the Navy itself as well has 24 Naval Reserve divisions across the country, which are an opportunity for an entry pathway, as well as to get some of your education paid for. Through that process, whether it's a learning assessment on the programs to bring them into the Navy, or work in integrated learning or cooperative education opportunities through reserve service, it's certainly an area we want to expand to. We want to develop so that we can help get people connected to the Navy across Canada.
Yeah, so they can serve part-time, get co-op experience. Explain that to me a little bit. Like, how would they be offered co-op every summer type thing?
So the reserve service is very unique in that we guarantee 4 months of employment for the first 4 years of your career, and usually aligns with a school schedule in the summer. So depending on the occupation you choose, if we can get you into that, you can be having work integrated learning experiences, almost like an apprenticeship, but quite competitively paid, where the starting salary starts at almost $23 an hour.
Wow. And what are the entry requirements for the Canadian Forces?
Entry requirements for reserve service in the Canadian Armed Forces is 16 years of age, you're a Canadian citizen or you're a permanent resident, and then there's a fitness test called the Force Test, which you can find online, as well as a medical screening and then background check. But fairly basic, put your name in there, and you can always reach out to a recruiting center if you wanted more information.
Well, I can tell you there's nothing better than a collision of two great organizations and institutions coming together, and that's exactly what's happening here with the career college system across our country and the Royal Canadian Navy, one of the institutions that we should all be incredibly proud of, and it's happening right here in beautiful downtown Toronto at this convention. Thanks for being on the show, sir.
Thank you.